Hey you, this is Marnie, and thanks for listening to the Ask Women podcast. Hey, do me a favor. Take a quick moment to give us some feedback on our iTunes page. We'd really love to know what you think of us. And also, give us 5 stars, just because.
Hey, welcome to the Ask Women podcast. It's Kristen Carney here with Marnie Kinross. You know her. You love her. WingGirlMethod.com. And you guys can check me out at KristenCarney.com. Don't do that, actually.
Is it KristenCarney.com?
Isn't my name hard to say?
No.
I think it is. You just fucked it up. It is.
Kristen Carney?
Kristen Carney. It's hard to say. Anyway.
But you have a website?
Anyway. I've always had a website.
I didn't know you have a website. I've never said it on the
I
show.
don't sell shit on it.
Well, now you do.
Yeah, whatever. I do, actually. We'll talk about that in a second. But we have a very vibrant, fun, love, and life coach, Candace Smith. Thanks for coming by. You are full of energy.
You're full of energy.
Yeah.
Wow. Is that a good thing? I was sitting here.
No, it's a good thing.
Okay.
Yeah, on a Friday when we have no energy, it's a great thing.
We need it, yeah.
I had a business meeting this week, and it was too much for them. They told me at the end of the meeting. They were like, wow.
Exhausted.
That
they were
was
like,
a lot.
I need a coffee
They said
this.
that, and it kind of hurt my feelings. I was like, this is a first.
They'll remember it at least.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Because usually it's probably not enough.
Yeah.
So you'd rather
True.
give
You
them
lie down on the
a
couch
lot,
after
for
you
sure.
leave and all of them take a nap.
Yeah.
That'd be interesting.
Thank you for having me. I'm really
of
excited to
course.
be here. I'm a really big fan.
Oh,
so
thanks. I'm glad that you're here. Well, tell people where they have seen you before.
CandaceSmith.com. No, and it's CANDACE. I told someone that earlier because with the A, it means Ethiopian princess in the Bible. Funny enough, I was named after Candace Bergen, a white woman.
really? Oh,
My
that's
mother's very special.
I love Candace Bergen.
Yeah. I do too.
Yeah.
What was that show she had?
Murphy Brown. I
Oh,
loved
my
that.
goodness. So
I just
smart.
saw it. So we got rid of our direct TV, and now we just have straight cable.
Mm-hmm.
And so all these old shows are on. Frasier and Murphy
Frasier's
Brown.
So
my
good.
favorite.
Frasier.
That's one of my favorite. I'm a Seinfeld maniac, but then Frasier's second.
Yeah,
Me too.
really
I can watch it
funny
all day long.
So funny.
sitcoms.
What
Anyone-
happened to shows like that?
I don't know. Anyone
They're
that
on
says
TV
they don't.
still. Keep
Are they?
watching them.
Yeah, but no.
cancel
Why
your
can't
cable.
why can't we make more of them?
Because it's
It's
not
not
the
that hard.
same.
It's not that hard.
I don't know.
I mean,
don't
maybe it
feel like
is.
modern people doing that same stuff. I think it's because of the old hair and the old way.
No,
it's
it's
filmed.
because
It
of
makes
the.
it funnier.
It's because everyone's sensitive, so we can't do shows
what
like
it is?
Frasier and
Really?
yeah,
there
because
was
there's
a
so many
lot of,
gay
like,
references and then
things.
totally
Right.
yeah, so we can't do that now. But anyway,
Yes. Anyway,
Yes.
but you were also on Millionaire Matchmaker.
Yeah, I think we
and-
need more reality TV is what we need for our
Sorry, but
culture.
God.
absolutely.
I think it's important.
Yeah,
No.
well, how was that experience on Millionaire Matchmaker?
Oh, wow.
What were
Well,
you doing
how
on that
much
show?
time
Were
do we
you-
have? I'm a matchmaker. I've been a senior matchmaker on that show for 3 seasons. I came on the last season at Bravo, which was the highest rated. I'm not saying
Very
it was because of
nice.
me.
No,
but
say it was because of you.
Okay,
Own
you know
it.
what? I'm going to say it was because of me.
Yeah.
And I replaced 2 matchmakers. I came on, and that was the last season on Bravo. Andy got rid of it. I think he was kind of
at
over
the highest
Also
rating
because
season.
of you.
He was like, that was too much.
That was not
just
because
kidding. I know.
but it was because of someone.
Oh,
know
we have
the
an idea
backstory
who.
on that. Yeah.
Cool. And then it moved over to WeTV and it became $1 Million Matchmaker. And so I just finished up 2 seasons of that.
okay.
Interestingly enough, but I'm out of my contract. I'm a free agent.
Okay.
Free to fly.
But
So you're going
not
to sign with
free
the Buffalo
to
Bills
date.
next
Yeah,
year?
exactly.
Would you say?
No, it's a football joke. Free agent. That's
But not a free agent for dating. So the interesting
No.
thing, so you are a matchmaker, so you know things from that point of view, but you
Right.
also were saying you want to tell a story about your boyfriend because all of his friends tried to get you, but you chose him and he made countless mistakes. So we want to hear
And they did
that
too.
backstory.
Okay, we are getting into it.
Yeah.
Okay, coming in hot, Marnie.
Well,
Yes.
it's only a 50-minute show.
Okay, yep, let's get to the point. So, yes, I'm a matchmaker. I have a psychology degree. I've been life coaching for probably almost 20 years. And then I started matching some of my friends and clients. And so I kind of became a little bit of a matchmaker as well. And they asked me to come on the show, Millionaire Matchmaker. And so that's how that all started. And no, I don't need to match myself anymore. I am in love, crazy in love. I just turned 41.
Okay.
And I've lived a very full life. I've dated a lot. And I never thought I'd meet a partner like this. My best friend who accepts every little thing about me, loves me, supports me, empowers me. Like, I didn't think a relationship like this was actually possible for me. So yeah, back to the night we met, the day we met, I was...
How long ago was this?
it'll be 3 years in August.
It's awesome because this isn't 6 months ago. This is 3 years ago, and you're still feeling it and all that.
Yeah, I'm great. Still feeling it. I still get butterflies. I still, like you guys see me. I'm like,
well, you travel a lot.
Well, you seem the minute you mentioned him, you seemed like giddy or excited or
Yeah. So it was crazy, I was in LA doing my thing, entertainment. I just had a movie out produced by Pierce Brosnan called My Father Die. I was doing TV and I was behind the camera with non-scripted, with reality, actually working as a producer. And a girlfriend in Hawaii had her birthday. Miss Hawaii, the year I competed at Miss USA when I was Miss Ohio, right? Yeah. And so anyway, she's like, hey, I'm having a birthday. You never come to Hawaii. You only came one time to judge for a couple days. Come. Cool. I had nothing going on and she was going through a divorce. And I was like, cool, I'll come help you with the kids, hang out for a little bit. Anyway,
I miss being single. Just come to Hawaii for the weekend.
It's pros and cons to everything.
I know,
right?
but it's amazing.
Yeah. And I fully take advantage of the pros of being single. When I was single, I fully took advantage of the pros. Do whatever I want, whenever I want.
Yeah.
And anyway, she had a pool weekend in Hawaii, sexy girls walking around in bikinis and all the hot guys, and I really wasn't feeling it. And there was a group of guys that all the girls were all about, and Kavika.
Can you say why? Why were they all about that group of guys? Because they were good.
Yeah, I'm gonna be really honest, and I don't know if they're gonna listen to this or not. I don't really care, but they were into these guys because of their occupations, like very focused on status. He's a doctor, he's a this, he's a that. Candace, you should talk to him. And I mean, they were okay looking guys that you can tell obviously spend a lot of time on their physical appearance.
Right.
Like I can tell when, I can see a diamond in a rough. Like you don't have to get a spray tan and your eyes, your eyebrows waxed for me to be able to tell you're a handsome guy, And I prefer not to date a guy who looks like he has an outfit on that came straight out of a J. Crew catalog, or like he's trying so hard. Like how'd you coordinate like that?
Yeah.
I barely can. And so Kavika was dressed horribly, and I loved it. And his friends were really thirsty, and like, oh, I've seen your show. Why would you have seen my show?
Yeah, that's a good. Well, if I meet a guy who listens to our podcast, why do you need our podcast? I mean, it's the same thing. And I have met people in public who are like, "Oh, I know your podcast."
It's like, okay,
and
right.
So you're having troubles. Okay,
well, that's better. That maybe they want a little bit.
Right.
Yeah,
totally.
I applaud them if they're
Marnie
like, I
does,
listen
for
to your
sure.
show because they want to understand women better and know how to get things without being complete douchebags. I
True that. True.
reward that.
Yeah. True that, but these guys...
Wait, I'm sorry. Anyone that knows anything that I do, I question. Not this podcast specifically, just
Right.
my life in
That
general.
makes sense.
You've seen
That
my
makes sense.
stand-up? I'm sorry. What led you down that terrible
Why
rabbit
are you
hole?
coming to my show?
Yeah.
There's so many better comedians out there.
Last night I stopped at like some little red carpet for this movie called The Matchmaker's Playbook, and I'm like standing there on the step and repeat, and this black woman. I'm black. I can say it. This black woman was, and I don't know why I'm describing her. It was just because like she reminded me of like one of my cousins back home, and she's like, "Hey, girl," she's like, "I'm such a big fan." Da 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 da. She got her phone out, and she's like, "Oh, I don't follow you no more." Like she pulled me up on Instagram.
So she had unfollowed you at some point?
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
And like we discovered it at the same time, like right there. And I was like, "Cool, you still want a photo?" And she was like,
no.
"Yeah, never mind. The show's canceled."
Yeah, exactly. So are you.
Next.
Right, basically.
So anyway, back to Kavika. He stood out
So
because he
his
didn't have
friends,
eyebrows
so his
waxed.
friends were like the popular ones that had, the
Can you explain why that's a
the
draw for
one-liners.
women?
Explain why.
That's a draw. Like, why is that? Because some guys are like, oh, you have to be X, Y, and Z in order to get attention. And
Right.
we try to instill the belief to a lot of guys that that's absolutely not true.
Right.
But it is a bonus.
Right.
And it is attractive if you happen to have those credentials
Right.
behind your name. If you happen to dress well. If you
Right.
like, these things are wonderful things
Right.
for anybody.
Right. They're wonderful, but
Like, what do they say to women? Why are those things attractive?
See, they weren't attractive to me. And I think that's because I'm not the typical woman and I go a little bit deeper. So when I coach single women, I tell them to get past the surface, all of these factors of compatibility they're so used to being focused on because.
But why? So the thing is that
I have a friend right now who's dating, and she is dating so wrong. And I've asked her to come on the show, but she works whenever we tape. But she is so set on having this type of guy. And she's not that type of person. She thinks she is. So I think she wants to see herself as a reflection of who she's dating.
Yes.
Okay, so that's an interesting point.
That's
I
a
think
really
that's
good point.
one of the things that people want in their dating life is to elevate them a little bit. Like for partnership, that's what a lot of people are seeking. Somebody who's funnier, somebody who is more intellectual. Like for me, I even have those aspirations in my own marriage, in my own life, in my own friendships where I'm like, oh, this person is really smart. I want to be around them. Or this person's a great businesswoman. I want to be around them.
She's doing it on a super shallow level. Like she's like, this guy, like he's like this beach bum with these perfect abs and lives like a whole like holistic lifestyle. And she's like a fucking cynical bitch from New York.
In her mind, that's
like
what she wants to possibly
But it's
attain.
not working because she's not that. And so she's trying to align herself with something.
But we're talking about the reality of dating, not like what people should be doing.
And there's a difference between...
You said you're not the typical girl.
Right. And there's a difference between dating someone because you admire them or you aspire to achieve or improve in some type of way, and then filling a void or searching for someone just to give you some kind of status. And I think that there's a big difference.
Listen, at the very core of it, if I hear somebody's a doctor, subconsciously or consciously, I'm like, oh, okay, I won't have to worry about working. Like that. That is what it is. Like, that's where you're like, okay, that person has money. There's stability attached to them. And there's not as much pressure on me or on other women. Or they could provide me a nicer lifestyle.
What I'm saying with bringing that up, though, is that if you're trying, so these, for example, going back to Candace's story, all of these guys that were the popular ones, the men listening to the show might think that they have to be that. But if that's not genuinely who you are, it's never going to work out.
No.
So that was the problem for me.
Unattractive.
And that's
you
what's
hit the
happening
nail
with her.
on the head.
Yes.
That was the problem for me, is they were not genuine. It wasn't authentic. I did not feel as though they really wanted to get to know me. They didn't ask any questions that...
Do you think that your other girlfriends felt the same way? That they?
I think, first of all, I'm not close friends with any of them, and they were just drunk and wanted attention.
Yeah.
You know? And they don't go that deep. I'm a deep individual, like, period. Everyone that knows me, you know, I don't like anything superficial. Any of my relationships, like, I go pretty deep. You know, I'm a very authentic, vulnerable person. So for me, that was a big turnoff. I think when you are a woman, I think in today's world, everyone is craving more authenticity. Everyone
Absolutely.
on a certain level. But when you're a good girl, if you grew up like with good values. I grew up in Dayton, Ohio, Midwest family. Forget what I do for a living. I like good people. I like solid people. I like men with character. And I had dated all these celebrities, athletes, producers, managers. I dated plenty of wealthy people. As a matter of fact, that's all I dated before Kavika. And it wasn't because I was the girl that was a gold digger, like, oh, I need to do this, I need to do that. They came to me, and it was because of what I did for a living, because I was Miss Ohio. I was a trophy piece, because I was on TV. I gave them status. I was someone they wanted to be seen with at the tables, popping bottles, or on the red carpets. And that's what that was. And I played that role, and I was very unfulfilled, very unhappy. I was dying inside. It was like, oh, yeah, you can spend $10,000 on me, and we can go shopping, but then when we come home and I want to make dinner and I want to sit down and talk and connect and love one another, you go in the room and lock the door. And really? So, you know, when I'm telling people there's pros and cons to everything, you know, and it's like no one would have seen me with someone like Kavika, but if you really, really know me, right, and not who you think I am, you would see me with
I'm in a
Kavika.
super similar situation right now. I just met someone who I think is my Kavika.
Okay.
And
that's exciting.
Yeah, it's amazing. And he's a lot older and not typically like the person you would think I would be dating just based on like appearance and stuff. And so I was talking to my mom recently, and I was saying how it just is so right. And she said, you know what, this makes so much sense that you're with an older guy because you're such an old soul that, yes, you end up with the older guy. And it just makes sense rather than before trying to force like guys that I think look cute because I like their beard or so, you know, something like that.
Yeah.
And this is a totally different level. And it's like that moment where you can not worry about them wanting to go in the other room and lock the door. It's like we're just totally connected.
Yes.
And it's because I've always seen like below the surface as well, but I've never found the right person to see it with until him. So it's like it's pretty similar.
Yeah, and I tell some of the single ladies I know, and they judge a man so quick. I mean, Kavika couldn't dress worth crap, and I'm like, do you understand what a $500 Nordstrom Rack makeover can do for a man?
Yeah,
you know what I mean. All you need is some simple, basic pieces, player. Like that's it. Keep it simple. But back to what I was saying of when I met Kavika, authenticity. You know, I think that's been lost. All these men are looking to
what does that mean? Sorry, I'm going to interrupt you, but so what did he do when he came to talk to you as compared to the other guys?
Compared to the other guys, he wasn't thirsty. He was very secure within himself.
Thirsty.
He wasn't thirsty.
She's so not hip.
Dude,
everyone knows what thirsty
mean. I honestly
means.
thought you were like they were thirsty.
Oh, like they needed another Bloody Mary.
Yeah, I need a lemonade.
I was like, have some water.
Thirsty's like desperate.
Now I get it.
Okay,
now.
Marnie. See, you need me to come on a few more times.
I know.
Yes. I think everybody who's listening is thinking the
she didn't know what
same
slide
thing.
into your DMs meant.
Oh, really?
Do you know?
Slide into the
Everyone.
I got
know.
people always every day sliding into my DMs.
I don't.
People
anybody who tries to talk to me on social media, just know it's not me.
Yeah.
Okay.
Who's on there? So I don't use it. I don't even
if
know
she
my
says
I
swag,
don't know my passwords.
thirsty.
Yeah, then it's not me.
It's definitely not Marnie.
Okay,
so they were
was
thirsty, meaning
he
they
was
were
thirsty.
desperate. They had this air of desperation was coming out of their pores.
Yeah.
Like, ooh, yeah, the hot girl from TV. Maybe I can bang her tonight.
Yeah.
Let me keep trying. Let me keep buying her drinks. Let me keep complimenting her on her show, even though she can tell I've never seen it. And da-da-da-da-da. And it was just like...
You can smell it.
Oh, it was like...
thirst.
And,
was
and
trying too
Kavika's chilling. He's on his phone, chilling, like...
So ignoring you.
Yep.
But not trying.
Yeah, not trying. And a little bit ignoring me. I think that was part of Kavika's game a little bit. I think it's just being off to the side, being the chill, cool guy, that just picks
would
up.
Would he give you looks during this process? Like say, oh, he's a...
I was introduced to the group, and when I met Kavika, I couldn't pronounce his name. It took me probably 2 months while we were dating to even be able to remember it.
Same with my husband's last name. I'm like, what is your last name?
Yeah, I'm not even going to try to say
I still
Jordan's
don't want
last
to.
name. Yeah. Seriously.
Velarde.
Yeah.
Sometimes I have trouble spelling it still. This is like 14 years later. It's horrible.
And her name is Marnie, so it rhymes too.
Yeah,
Marnie
that's why I didn't
Velarde.
take his last name. Marnie Velarde. Awful.
No.
Yeah.
What was I saying?
Oh, not being able to pronounce his name. He
Oh,
was just
yeah.
chilling.
Like we
He
would
was-
get into arguments and I'd be like, listen, Kawasaki, or whatever your name is. Like I didn't even
That's
get
awesome.
it. Like my grandma called him Tamika for like the first
Oh, that's
year.
my name too.
But that's
He
a girl
was just-
name.
He was just off to the side.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So he was off to the side. And when I met him, I'm like, oh, what's your name? He's like, Kavika. Like he was very soft spoken. I'm like, I can't hear you. And
You can throw at him Kavita. That's like a kombucha drink.
Oh, yeah.
The name is Kavita, so you can like jokingly call him Kavita.
Yeah.
Stop trying to plug for your old company.
No, I didn't work for
Oh,
Kavita.
wasn't that company?
No,
Okay.
and
I
I
was
would
like,
never
what was the
plug.
purpose of that?
I
It wasn't
would
that
never
funny.
plug. Oh,
She used to
all
work
right, you're
for
out. You're off the podcast.
Oh.
Kavita is close to Kavika.
Right,
It's just
right.
another way for you to insult him.
Okay, I'm gonna do that.
Okay,
It might
I know
go
you're
over his
not.
head.
I know
no,
you're not.
Like,
no, I'm
what?
not. And so he kept it cool, and I was just like, Kavika, and I was like, where are you from? He's like, I'm a mountain man. He's from Waimanalo, which is considered like a rough side of Hawaii. And I was intrigued, and I liked the fact that he wasn't thirsty and had that energy about him and all over every girl, kind of like, attention deficit. I think it goes a long way when you're present, you put your phone down and you actually connect with a woman and you're honest and it's just real. And so we ended up off to the side having a conversation on our own.
How did it start?
I walked away from the group. I was sitting off on my own.
You used my Kavita joke.
I used your Kavita joke. It flopped. He left. Then he came back, and the whole group came over where I was sitting. And, he never came on his own. The whole group came to me. And I kind of pushed over to Kavika because I was intrigued by him, not the other guys. And I started talking to him, and next thing you know, we were kind of connecting just as far as like family. Where are you from? I'm like, oh, I'm from Dane. My dad's from the South. He's like, oh, I was on a farm. And I'm like, yeah, we have a farm too. And I was like, my dad shoots guns and, drinks moonshine. He's like, oh, we cockfight. And I'm like, woo, you just one up me. No, I'm kidding. No, he doesn't do that.
I was like, what?
But, yeah. So
thirsty any cockfight.
Isn't that sexy?
Yeah.
And
all thirsty kids do.
so anyway, we just started having this connection. It got interrupted. Everyone's drinking, partying, having fun. His friend even, moved in to kiss me at one point. And Kavika's watching all of this. And I can see Kavika just, I can see what he's thinking. Like, this is just such BS. And that's when I was like, you're the one. You're the one. If you're looking at this clown show right now of these drunk girls in bikinis throwing themselves.
But these are his friends?
Social friends, not close,
Not his people.
Not his And if you're looking at this and you're thinking the same thing I'm thinking, you're my kind of person. And so I picked him up. And he denied me a couple of times.
Oh.
Yeah, he did. And that just turned me on even more. No one believes that I'm the one that picked Kavika up. The greatest thing that ever happened in his life was me.
Was that you were
That I pursued him.
So I almost had a bad girl moment the other day.
Almost.
Yes.
What do you mean?
I almost stole something.
What?
Yeah. I almost stole something. I was at Trader Joe's and I was hungry and I was walking around and I saw my favorite RX bar on the shelf and I took it and I ate it and I put the packaging in the top of the cart. And when I got to the cashier, I debated.
You could have gotten away with it.
I know, I could have. And I feel like I've spent enough money there. If I get over the $100 mark, I feel like I get a free RX bar. But they're pretty.
Totally.
I mean, they're not cheap, but they're not expensive. But I feel like they're kind of fancier for some reason, so therefore I can't. If it was like a fruit leather, I could steal one of those. But anyway, it was. I ended up paying for it, so I was very happy that I did that. But the reason that I'm bringing up RX bars and this story is because our sponsor for this week's episode is the RX Bar Company. So
and we're not saying steal them.
don't steal them. Pay for them, but
through us, pay for them.
They're worth paying for them because they're really good. They have the most unbelievable flavors. So I'm going to just read you a few things about RX bars because I do not have a good memory and I cannot tell you all the wonderful things from my memory. So RX bars' core ingredients do all the talking. It's simply like eating 3 egg whites, 2 dates, and 6 almonds with no BS. Okay? Whether you like sweet or savory chocolate or fruit flavors, there's an RX bar for you. And they come in 11 different flavors. They're gluten-free, soy-free, dairy-free. They're paleo, which is why I like them. No added sugar, no artificial colors, no artificial flavors, preservatives, or fillers, egg whites for protein, dates to bind, and nuts for texture, okay? They are amazing for breakfast on the go, snack at the office, throw in your bag for the plane, toss in your backpack for a bike ride or a hike, anything for a pre or post-workout snack. They're absolutely amazing. I've eaten these before I go to the gym, and typically when I eat things before I go to the gym, I'm super full and nauseous and can't actually work out. I eat one of these, and I feel totally fine and energized the entire time. Anyway, I think that you guys should get some of these RX bars because they're awesome, and they come in really cool package. Anyway, if you want to buy these, then go to rxbar.com/wants. That's rxbar.com/wants and enter promo code wants.
So the link is rxbar.com and then the checkout link is wants. There's no
it says on this. It's for 25% off your first order, rxbar.com/wants, and the promo code is wants at checkout. So go do it. So how did you ask him out and he rejected you? Like you said, do you want to go out? And he said no.
I said, give me a kiss. Yeah. I just went right in.
So you
I had
assaulted
done a dating detox for 3 months, mind you. And so for me, I feel like, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results. And I found myself dating the same type of dudes over and over again. And it's like, oh, a nice little 3-month run there. And then you start acting freaking weird. What are you on the dating apps? And it's like, oh, when I have a show, I hear from you. When I don't, you're a ghost. Oh, that's another good word for you to learn.
That
ghost.
one
She knows that one.
Okay, cool. And it was like, I can't keep doing this. And so the first step for me was I was like, Done. Like, no repeats, no recycles, no booty calls, no nothing. Like, the people that want to show up when I post a pretty photo. Oh, hey, Candace, just wondering. All of you dead. Like, if you did not treat me like the queen that I am when you had me, I'm done. Like, don't come back. Like, so many people have been blocked. Yeah, they're probably listening to this. Like, how do I get...
You have a lot of faith in our show.
No, she thinks she's drawing them in. It's not us.
That's true.
No.
That's true.
No, I just, and so anyway, at that point, I had been through a detox and I had a new bikini wax. And I was in Hawaii and I was kind of...
So basically you were desperate.
I'm
joking.
Marty.
No,
I was
joking.
thirsty.
Just for some aloe for her vagina.
No, yeah, you know what? Mama needed her pipes cleaned. I'm going to be all the way honest.
She got a bikini wax.
Yep. And
She's I'm ready to go.
Yeah, and it was some Stella Got Her Groove Back Part 2 in Honolulu.
Well, I want to take a step back for a second, okay? So, to be honest, what I'm hearing is he was the only one who wasn't all over you.
Yeah.
And
you got it.
That. But that's interesting. But so also you were saying, but when he was engaged with you, he would be real and authentic.
Yes.
But he was basically ignoring you.
Yeah.
But was there tension while he was ignoring you that you could feel?
I could feel it.
Yeah.
He denies
From his side
it
too.
Yeah, he denies it, but I'm very sensitive to energy. Like, he tells a story. Every time he tells a story, it's like a new remix. Like, I feel like when he told it to like Jordan at the guys at the surf, he's like, yeah, and she followed me to the bathroom, and and then when I walked out, she's like standing there, like, what's up? Like, when we getting it on? And I'm like, dude, you have taken this story and ran with it, and good for you. Like, I'm happy that this is giving you some affirmation in life. Like, this is great for your
That's
ego.
His way of teasing you, which I like.
Yeah, he teases me all the
Okay,
time.
so he was ignoring you. He rejected you.
Yes.
So do you think that he actually wasn't interested in the beginning?
Maybe he wasn't.
Yeah.
Listen, let me tell you something about me. And I've been like this since I was a little girl. When somebody says no,
I'm the same way.
It doesn't register. Like, I'm just like, yeah, okay.
No, it's better if people say no. To be honest, when I started my business, I've told this a few times, but I was at a singles mixer at a rabbi's house. I started pulling people together, pulling guys to talk to women because nobody was engaged in conversation. And by the end of the night, people were engaged. They were having fun. One couple was making out with each other. I went home and I said to my roommate, who was like 35 years old, an entrepreneur, a dude, I said, I hate my job. I wish I could do what I did tonight. I was a wing girl, and that didn't exist back then. And I was like, I want to do that professionally. And he, made a joke and said, like, no fucking way are you ever going to make money off of doing something like that. And guys don't want to hear from women what women
want. When we're the ones that know.
Yeah. Had he said, that's a great idea, and joked around me for 5 minutes, I wouldn't have done anything. But because he said, no, that's not a good idea, I marched into my room and posted an ad on Craigslist at 1:30 in the morning.
You're like, I'll show you.
By the next morning, I had over 75 responses from people.
That's
so
amazing.
had he said, great, this podcast wouldn't be happening right now. He said no, and that pushed me forward to do it.
That's inspirational, honestly, because
Do you think other women are like that as well? Or if they hear a no from somebody, from a guy, is that not attractive to them?
I think today that there's a lot more women like us, women that are driven, that are competitive, that go out and get what they want. And I think that for so long, the dynamics with dating was kind of one-sided, where it was kind of like the men were the aggressors and then the woman decide if they want you or not. But in this age of equality and women's empowerment, it's like, no, we're equals. Like, I decide if I want you, you decide if you want me. And there's not that same, archaic type of gender roles that need to take place when you're approaching someone or when you're dating. So, yeah, I do think that it gives a man some credibility if he can say no. He's not just around here waiting for a woman to say yes, and he's being choosy. And it's like, as a woman, you know what? You go get turned down. Like, why not approach a man? Because what? They didn't tell you in the Disney fairy tale that you're allowed to do that?
Well, do you think that for women who are in the category of having men flock to them who are thirsty?
Right. Like myself.
No, not like, I'm saying like the guys. Who are so these like women who look like you, like gorgeous women, like at that level of a woman. Do you think that that's a better tactic, or I don't even want to say it that way, but that it's more attractive for them, especially to hear no?
Yes.
Why? Because they don't hear it that often?
Because you're being constantly constantly approached, especially now with social media, sliding in the DMs, the Twitter, the Facebook, the Snapchat, and any possible way. When you're an attractive woman that a man can get to you, they're trying. And that creates, I believe, because I had it, a certain kind of anxiety and like just discomfort when I would be out socially or there would be men around.
About that? What
because when it happens so much, you start to feel overwhelmed with men contacting you, and some can be very aggressive, some not very nice, like when you say no, when you deny them, and that's a little scary as a woman. And so, a lot of these attractive girls, especially young ones, when they're constantly having that happen to them, they go in a little bit of a cocoon. Yeah. And so when you're out socially then, right?
Is your guard up more?
You already have your guard up. When back in the day when there wasn't the social media and stuff, people met organically. It was like, you had socials and that was expected. You could walk up to someone and just say, "Hi, I'm so-and-so. I noticed you."
It wouldn't feel like boom, boom, boom,
right.
boom, boom.
And so now I think that it makes it a little bit more difficult for men in these organic settings to approach a woman because the way women have their guard up, and you have to be a little bit sensitive to that with beautiful young women. I think that always doing your best not to be that douche, not trying to appear as though you're following the pickup artist, handbook, and be authentic and be real and respect her space. Like,
what does that mean? Because it's so funny. Because on one side you're saying like give her space,
right,
and don't approach her. But
right.
Then how would
how?
He
well,
himself?
It's a thin line. It really is a thin line. I think that it's subjective. You have to, in that moment, use your judgment. Like a guy I get hit on a lot. Like Kavika and I will be at the store together and he goes to another aisle and like there'll be a surfer dude hitting on me and I'm just like, please stop.
Send him to my friend.
Oh yeah, I'll put him in a UPS box and put a couple holes in there and send him right over from Hawaii.
Oh yeah, you're in Hawaii.
You know what? Go get one over there and bring them over here.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
It's not a bad idea.
Yeah, you should. So I had a guy just hit on me recently at Trader Joe's here in LA, and he did it the right way. The point I was making is I get hit on a lot, and sometimes it's creepy, and the guy is just staring at me and follows me down every aisle and never says anything, and it just keeps looking, and that's creepy. This guy was in Trader Joe's. He saw me. He patiently waited until I finished checking out, and he wasn't behind me. Like, part of doing it right is not sneaking up on somebody like, "Ooh, gotcha. What's up?" You know what I mean? Like it's how you approach it. You feel the energy, you keep it cool. And as I was walking out, he said, excuse me, not, "Hey, what's up? Hey," Yeah. He's like, "Excuse me." And I thought I left my keys or something because he was very nice and polite and very soft about it. I turn around, there's this super handsome, like 22-year-old, like cute kid, like looks like a little college football player. And I was like, "Yes." And he's like, "My apologies for stopping you, but I would regret it so much if I didn't do this and tell you, you are the most beautiful woman I've ever seen." And he delivered it. It was real. It was
that was real, but were you attracted to him? Did that turn you on? Were you excited if you were single?
Well, is that a fair question? I'm in a relationship now.
No, I'm saying if you were single. Hey,
yeah,
listen.
Yeah.
You would say, "Here's my number.
Yes.
I would go out with you."
The way that he came to me, his demeanor, his energy, and how polite and respectful he was, I would have said, "What's your name?" And I would have said, "Hey, you know what? Give me your info. Give me your email. Here, write down your full name."
Let me stalk you on Google for a bit. Find out you're
you
not
know
crazy.
that's about to happen.
Yeah.
I'm about to go through your Instagram. I'm not going to slide into your
see who
DM.
you are.
But we're going to see, like, when was the last girlfriend photo? How many selfies do you take? And how many
you've
photos?
made an interesting point. I think
Thanks.
because you're saying that women are getting bombarded and attacked in a way because you're saying that. And Kristen said this too, and I've experienced this even though I've been in a relationship for 14 years. But where if you did let somebody down, or maybe you said the wrong thing to somebody, rubbed them the wrong way, you get lashed out on. So I think that the sincere, polite, authentic approach is making a comeback. So something like what you just explained can be very welcoming to women.
I was about to lose it recently. I mean, I don't get crazy amounts of like DMs, but I get enough, and they're by dudes. I have no idea who you are. His page is like maybe private. I can't see any picture. There's no profile picture even. And they'll say, "Hey, beautiful." Ooh. And leave it at that. Why on earth do you think I am going to reply to this? I'm like, no, I have so much to do. I have to take care of my dog. I have to do some work today. I have to go get my car cleaned. But you know what? I'm also going to reply.
What do you say back?
Nothing. I don't reply.
Hey.
What I want to say though. So recently I was in a bad mood, and I was like,
You were in a bad mood?
Always. I know. You're hilarious.
I just met you.
You're amazing. Not getting into a worse mood. I swear.
Very intuitive.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and a little bit of a wise guy.
Yeah.
I wanted to write back to all the ones that just said like, "Hey, beautiful. What's up, beautiful?" I want to say, why the fuck do you think I would answer this?
You should.
And just leave it at that and then block them. But the guys don't get it. There's nothing lovely about that. But what that guy did was pretty lovely. It was like, I'm sorry, not that you have to be apologetic all the time, but like he understood that he was stopping you. Maybe you're busy.
Do you think
he was
in
being
your
respectful.
20s you would have liked that?
No, I've always been.
Nope.
Okay,
I had to do some work on myself. Okay. Really.
So this is from the point of view of women who are old and who
speak for yourself.
I'm joking. No, but I'm saying like women, like as you said, you went on a cleanse. Same thing with Kristen. Like that you've gone through it already, and you're coming back. You're coming at it from this place of like, okay, I've seen all this shit. I've fallen for this shit before. And now here's what I'm open to. So that's interesting because for some guys, they don't know if they're approaching a woman who's gone through that.
Right.
Or if they're getting them on the front end.
Right.
So like on the front end, would that stuff work
on the front end?
I guess it did because you said you dated.
If she was thirsty, sure, maybe.
Yeah. No. Yeah. Wait, me?
No, not you, but women in general.
Women.
Yeah. No, I think when you're younger. Well, first of all, what's important to you in a mate, like what you look for in someone, that the priorities change over time when you experience life. You know what I mean? And for me, I just got to a stage where I was like, I could care less about money, status, education. I mean, I just want a real man with some character that stands for something, who isn't opportunistic and goes with the flow. Like it goes with whatever direction benefits him in that moment. Like that.
What were you looking for when you were in your 20s?
When I was in my 20s, I believed in Prince Charming that was going to save me. And I wanted a wealthy, good-looking man that was going to make everything better. All my past emotional wounds, my financial situation, my lack of self-love, my issues with my childhood. I wanted him to just come and save me. That's what I was looking for.
That's what I was looking for too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Would you say that's similar for you?
I don't know. I don't think I was looking for saving. I think for me, I was looking for a friend. I always wanted to connect with somebody. So that was really, I've never been the 20-year-old who was the 20-year-old who like got crazy on spring break. It was never me. Ever.
No, I wasn't either.
I was.
But I was never just looking for that like, oh, I want to have a boyfriend. I wanted a friend who saw the world the same way that I did.
I mean, and for me, it wasn't, I want a boyfriend. It was, I want a father.
Oh, totally. No, definitely.
It was, I want a father.
You were looking for a father. I was looking for a friend. You might have been looking for a father as well.
Maybe a little.
If I'm keeping it real with myself, you know what I mean. Yeah. I was looking for a father, and
yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, and that's, I'll say I was looking for a man to do what? Take care of me. And what is that? It's a father. Right. And, and depending on where a woman is in her personal growth determines what works with her. But I think overall, no matter what age, beautiful women are now so much more. And if you look at a lot of big-time models and celebrities, their mates are not attractive. Okay. And I think so many women, especially beautiful young women, they don't care about your physical appearance and your clothes. And guys need to stop worrying about that, dude, and just focus on being a good person. Like, who are you? What do you represent? You know, when you're single, like, get out and involved in your community, learn another language, read a book, travel, do some things that makes you even more interesting.
Yeah. Well, so how would a guy find this out quickly about a woman? What stage of her personal growth she's in? What would be...
I think you should just treat everyone as if they're at an advanced personal growth, because no matter what, you're speaking at like the most advanced intellectual level, and then maybe they can work up to that. But, you know, if you're working at the bottom of the barrel and you're starting like she's desperate and wants you to just call her beautiful, then you're going to lose everybody. Whereas if you go higher, you will maybe even get the lowers and the highers.
And it might go over their head.
But they might learn to come up.
Not be on par with who you are anyway. So that
And I think that it's pretty easy to tell where someone is off the bat by asking just a few questions.
Well, like you said, like
superficial, that aren't.
But you were like, I'm going to check out his Instagram, see how many selfies he's post.
Right.
It's like stuff like that. It's like, not that you can see a girl's Instagram instantly, but stuff. Those little types of things will help you decipher between.
What kind of questions would you say?
And it's so funny you said Instagram. I'm going to answer you right now, Marnie. But I'm just like, if someone looked at my Instagram right now, they would probably have. Well, I don't know. I just think that they would have.
I had a different perception of you.
Totally, most people do, and that's because of what I do for a living and what they ask me to post and what I have to do. You know what I mean? Like, people don't want to see me with a beanie on, no makeup, and sweats, like sitting on the couch every day. You know what I mean? It's like, that's me. I don't wear makeup. I'm a tomboy. I'm this, I'm that. And so people, you know, kind of when they meet me, they're like, oh, crap, you're cool. And I'm like, yeah, you didn't know that. But to answer your question, Marnie, the type of questions that you would ask, I feel like when you're getting to know someone, you know, first of all, my pet peeve, what do you do? I have really close friends. I don't know what their degree is. I don't know what their position is at their job.
I don't even know their last name.
Yeah, I don't care about any of that stuff. You know what I mean? I'm more concerned about their heart, what they're passionate about, what moves them, and so when you start to get to know someone, I think that just asking them, like, oh, tell me about your family. And, you know, okay, cool. Like, what are some of your goals? Are you in a relationship? Oh, okay. You know, like, do you want children? Like, just simple question. Yeah.
That's getting to know, not like at the pool if Kavika.
I told Kavika I was going to have his baby at the pool.
That's different than saying, so do you want children?
No. Yeah, I don't want your clients. I don't want men going out there and saying, do you want to have children?
Candace told me to say this.
No,
it works.
No. But, you know, just family, dreams.
But you were clearly being playful. Like, you can throw stuff in there if you're being playful and fun and charismatic.
And honestly, also, if I scare a dude off, peace. You know, I don't get women that tiptoe around men. Like, oh, you know, I don't want to scare him off. You know, I don't want to mention this. I don't want to call too much. I don't want to text. It's like, dude, probably ain't really feeling you. He's juggling a few chicks then. Like, wake up. There's a reason why you don't want to contact him, and why are you playing yourself? You know, I felt like, you know, if I scare you, bye. I told Kavika probably 2 months in, I said, listen, you're going to fall in love with me. And, you know, I'm going to be the greatest love of your life. I'm going to completely change your life. And he looked at me. We were up at the North Shore having breakfast, and he'll tell you, he thought I was, well, he still thinks I'm special, but he was just like staring at me. And, I remember I walked away and
like, you're going to kill me.
And look at us today. And I remember I walked away and I called my dad and I told my dad what I said to Kavika. My dad's like, oh boy, this is going to go one direction or the other, you know? But here we are.
Interesting. I like that.
So, yeah, I think going a little bit deeper, not just the superficial questions, especially when you're talking to a beautiful girl, you know, like, the whole, you're beautiful. Oh, has anyone ever told you you're pretty? Oh my God. It's like, yeah, probably thousands. Like, come up with something else. We got the physical appearance. You can note it in a casual way, but don't focus on that, especially when you're talking to a beautiful girl. Like, and a lot of times that can be offensive as well, because it's like, hey, there's so much more to me. So.
Yeah. Well, explain that a little bit more. So how does somebody find out that there's more to that.
Because sometimes there's not.
Doesn't give him a chance, right? Sometimes not. But that okay. So let's say
you said Kristen. Sometimes they're not.
They're not. I've met them.
Okay, so you had your introduction to your boyfriend at a pool party. How in a first minute of meeting you does he show you and let you know that there is more to him and he sees more to you because he hasn't really shown anything yet. So like in order for you to want to keep having him around.
Right.
Or keep continuing the conversation from your side.
He didn't ask me about my show or what's Jake Gyllenhaal like or
what is Jake Gyllenhaal?
He's freaking
He's
awesome.
a verb.
I'm joking.
I did the movie End of Watch with him. And he's dope. Like that's what cracks me up. You know, like he's like, hey Candace, you want to hang out in my trailer? I've got cable. Whereas I've worked with some people on reality TV and they're like, I'm a fucking star.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay.
But he had cable in his trailer. Kind of doing the same thing.
So to answer your question, Kavika, it was none of that. It wasn't, and even to this day, I love the fact that, you know, he comes to my sets and stuff. He could care less. Like, he'll have a beer and leave. Like, they're like, oh, does Kavika want to?
Being a Hawaiian.
I
love that.
And he's a real man.
Yeah.
He's a real man. Like, the men I grew up with. My uncles, my dad, like real men.
What can you explain what that means to you?
A real man to me is a man that is solid, confident, has character, stands for something.
Doesn't wax his eyebrows.
And doesn't wax his eyebrows and need attention, whether it be social media or his girlfriend's gig on TV. You know, I have acquaintances that if they came to my set would be like, hey, you think I can get on? Or let me meet this person. Let me do that. You know, Kavika's not like that. Like he's very secure and comfortable in his skin and he does not, you know, he doesn't care about that. And when we met, even to this day, like I have to talk to him like, oh, you know, I was just doing karaoke with Marlon Wayans last night, you know, last week and Kavika's like, who's that? You know what I'm like?
That's probably refreshing for you.
So refreshing. And he's secure with himself.
Be honest. Does that get frustrating for you sometimes?
No.
Never on any level.
No. And he's super secure with himself. Like I'm hanging out with Marlon Wayans. I'm hanging out with this person, that person.
I was just going to say Kristen Carney.
I'm like, I'm a Marlon
I hang out with big stars like Kristen.
Carla.
And Carla. And he's so like he's like, babe, go have fun. Like you need a break. Like you've been working nonstop on your show. Kick it, you know. And he's so dope like that. Like other guys I dated, you know, they would start to become passive aggressive. Oh, okay, well, you know, all of a sudden I'm not available or I have an attitude or whatever. You know, I can call Kavika drunk at 1 a.m. and be like, I killed. Pour some sugar on me, babe. I brought the house down. So when we met, he, you know, like he didn't ask about any of that kind of stuff. It was just like, where are you from? Dayton, Ohio. Oh, cool. I've been to Ohio once. What's that like? You know, I'm a tomboy, so I grew up like this, and this, you know, and he's like, me too. And so like it was none of the superficial crap. None of that. And it was like I was at a Miss Hawaii's birthday. So the other topic of conversation was the pageant and, oh, Miss USA and this. He could care less about any of that.
So basically the things that I'm learning from this episode are don't talk about the obvious, don't comment on her beauty, look for something a little bit deeper, but you have to ask a few questions first. And some questions that you did give out were, do you want to have babies?
No.
What are your goals? What's your family like?
Where are you from? What was your childhood like?
Yeah. Those are like below surface level as opposed to going for the obvious kind of superficial questions, which sometimes, you know, that's what OSA, which is my method for starting conversation, that's what it's about, pulling from observations. So like some of those things are easy, low-hanging fruit when you're in a nerve-wracking situation that you will go to those things. But what I'm hearing is, especially if you're around very beautiful women, go for things that aren't so obvious, that everybody's bringing up for the conversation.
Yes.
And have your standards. If you want to practice those at home or have those questions that you ask every single girl, but they're a little bit different or off kilter from what the typical questions are around you, they can still have they can still resonate with the people that are in different situations.
Basically like stand out without doing anything to stand out.
Yes, and keep your energy very calm and comforting. You have to understand that, like especially in a public arena, women can sometimes just feel a little bit uncomfortable with aggressive energy from a man. So just pay attention to that.
Yeah, no, I think these are great things. I was going to do a question from one of our listeners, but I don't know how much time we have.
I talk a lot.
45.
Yeah, I think we should
we
end
recorded
because iTunes is now favoring episodes that are shorter.
It's weird, I know.
Yeah, I don't understand why.
Yeah, mine have been around 35, 40.
Yeah, that's what we're supposed to be getting. So too bad we're over. Show's done. Anyway, but tell people where to watch you, find out more about you.
Thank you, Marnie. CandaceSmith.com, CandaCe Smith.com. And my podcast is Love by Candace.
Wonderful.
Which I'm so excited to have you on.
Yeah, I would love to be
at some point in the near future.
So what can people get from you for matchmaking? Like, is that something you do on your own now?
Yeah, I'm a coach. And when you go to my page, you can see some client testimonials. But I coach in life and love, everything. I've coached people in business development with public speaking. I've coached single women going through some issues and ready to get back out there in the dating world. I've coached young pageant girls. I've coached
everybody.
Yeah, couples. Yeah, I've coached. I coach a lot of different.
LA
people.
Clippers are next. I coach basketball,
Little League,
hockey team,
some lacrosse.
Any coaching you need, Kristen, I got you.
We'll do it.
Ice skating.
You want some joke coaching?
Ooh, you got me. No, yeah.
She likes you, and she doesn't like a lot of people. That's how you.
I thought coaches were supposed to make things better.
I did.
Oh, that's why
Look
you're not
at you.
coaching my jokes.
You're smiling.
One more question. Do you think that most women like to have digs like what you guys are doing?
Yes,
before?
banter.
Or do you think
Absolutely.
Can some women not handle that? Like, I feel like, I guess it's gradually happened where you're testing each other to see what you can handle, but do you think that the majority of women that you know can handle?
Are you saying from a man?
From a man?
Yeah.
I know some that can't, but they're usually cancers astrologically. Yeah. They're cancers.
Oh, and cancers in life.
Oh,
if you can't if you can't take a little banter, you are a Cancer. You really are.
No, I just mean the astrological sign is highly emotional and sensitive. But of course, people are sensitive to different levels. But I think in general, women, like a little banter.
It's
like,
playful.
come on.
As long as you're not actually saying to someone something very hurtful that's going to hurt their
Cancer,
self-esteem.
get away from
Like, how in the hell did you get in those jeans?
Yes, stuff like that.
Right.
We did not answer any questions from our listeners this time, but if you do want to write us questions, please write them into ask@askwomenpodcast.com. New episodes of the Ask Women podcast come out every Thursday at 5 p.m. Pacific. You want to say the rest of it since you know it out by heart?
And make sure you subscribe rather than download episodes individually. Don't be a loser. So make sure you subscribe. And also, whoever our sponsor is this week, you guys should support them. It's probably him or it's probably RX Bar. So you guys should check out both of our sponsors.
Yes, because if you support our sponsors, they support us.
Yeah.
And then we can continue doing our shows. And that's a perfect place to end. We will see you guys next week.
Bye.
We love you.